Today we're going to talk about the old trusty dusty Winchester SX4. I actually had to think about this for a minute, but I've been using this shotgun for 4 seasons now. So I want to give you guys an in-depth review over this shotgun and what I've experienced with it over the past 4 years of hunting with it. But before we get too far into this, make sure to drop a like on this video. It really helps out. So take a couple seconds, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed and you want to see more hunting content, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's go ahead and get rolling into this. And like I said, I got this gun 4 years ago and it has seen its fair share of use and abuse. This SX4 that I've got is chambered in 3.5 inch, so you can shoot 2 3/4, 3 inch, and 3.5. It's got a 28 inch barrel and it's gas operated. So you know, in the realm of gas operated shotguns, the number one that comes to mind other than this one would be the Beretta. And I've shot a Beretta before and I didn't necessarily care for it as much as I like this one. This one seems a little bit more sleek, a little lighter weight, and it swings a little bit better in my personal opinion. When I got this gun, this was my first semi-auto and I was in love from the second I put it up to my shoulder and started shooting it at ducks. What happened with this gun, it has its fair share of what I like to call character. I'll just be upfront with you guys and say my level of gun maintenance and upkeep is pretty low. So I clean this thing maybe twice a season. I just cleaned this thing up, so it's nice for this video, and it definitely needed to be cleaned. I actually pulled out probably like half a shotgun shell's worth of unspent powder inside the breech of this thing. So it was gummed up pretty dang good. But what happened with this is the first season I took really good care of it. And then the second season was when I started hunting out of a kayak. And so because of my kayak hunting and because of my, you know, lack of maintenance and oiling, it's the black, it's not Cerakoted, it's just kind of like a blued barrel. The water started to eat away at the finish and it started rusting, and it eventually got to the point where I just kind of stopped caring because it was beyond the point of repair. I just tried to kind of oil it down as much as I could. So this barrel has got a pretty decent amount of rust. I've had comments on videos, people asking, okay, how did you manage to bend the rib of your gun? Well, it's bent here, it's bent a little bit here, and it's got a really good bend right here. And to be honest with you guys, I've got no clue how that happened, but it definitely doesn't affect the way that this gun shoots. With that being said, with how much this gun has been through and how many rounds have gone through it, I've only had a handful of issues. I know a lot of people want to know like the issues with guns before they buy them, and I'll be straight up with you guys and let you guys know exactly what those are. So, first of all, this was one of the first SX4s, and this had an issue with the charging handle. So this is an aftermarket charging handle because the original one fell out when I was turkey hunting, nowhere to be found. So I had to use my truck key for turkey season, but we did end up finding a replacement. All of the ones from Winchester were out of stock. It was a known issue, and it's been addressed with the future models of the SX4. So if you go out and buy one now, they're not going to have that issue. But other than that, I've had a few hang-ups with some shells. Like I had some 3.5 inch shells that this gun didn't like. It would hang up, it wouldn't cycle them. But across the board, the vast majority of things I've shot out of this cycled great. Even with low brass loads, when I first got it, cycled great, and it's been a great gun for me. That's kind of the only issues I've had. I've never had to clean out the spring down here. Probably should. There's probably some nice secrets to be held in there. But you know, I just clean it out, give it a good wipe down, and hang it up. I'm hunting so much that I don't clean my gun as much as I should. It's kind of get home, clean the ducts, wipe the gun down every now and then, and be ready to go for the next day. So maintenance is pretty minimal. But with that being said, with the amount of maintenance I put into this gun, I've never had any issues with it. It's been cycling. I've never had any hang-ups really, other than a few different types of shells. I remember one time this year I did have a hang-up, but that was in Texas, and the wind was blowing, the dirt's all gritty, and it got in here, and it caused some issues. It was like it sounded like you were just grinding sand whenever you would pull the bolt back. So that was the cause of that issue. It wasn't the gun. It just, there was crap inside of it. Let's talk about this and what I like about this gun. For some reason, the fit on this gun, either I'm really used to it after shooting it for so long, but the fit, the way it mounts to my shoulder, the sight line, everything, it's so awesome. Like it fits me really well. I'm able to see what I'm shooting. I'm able to hit things, pull it up real fast. Big safety on it, which is great. Big release on the bolt release, and the bigger charging handle is kind of nice too. But you know, it's got big features here, but it just fits so good, and I'm so used to it at this point that we get along really well. If you guys are looking to get an SX4, I honestly don't really have anything bad to say about this gun. It's been tried and true. It always fires for me. I've never really, from what I can think of over the past 4 years, I've never pulled the trigger and not had to go bang. And the condition that this gun was in when I cleaned it earlier today, I'm kind of impressed that I never had any issues towards the end of the season when I was firing. You know, some of the hunts I went on, I was going through a box and a half of shells, and just no issues whatsoever. So I like it. I like it a lot. It's been good to me. I'm hoping to get some more use out of this thing here in the next few seasons, but I'm sure it's going to eventually have to get put up and either Cerakoted or spray painted or something. But you know, the condition it's in cosmetically is not pretty, but functionality wise it's done great. So you know, that's just my experience with this gun. It's done me really well. I've shot a lot of birds with it. It's been through the trenches. It's been in the kayak. It's been in the bottom of the boat. It's been to Colorado, to Texas, to Nebraska, to Kansas. It's been all over the place. I've never had any issues with this in the field while firing, other than, you know, just a couple oddball times when, you know, it got gummed up because of the elements that I was hunting. So choke tube wise, I'm using the Carlson's Cremator mid-range. That's all I shot this past season. It did great. And then shell wise, I was shooting those nitro steels from Remington. So it seemed like a good combo. I was folding a lot of birds. I've had my fair share of misses, but when I connect with them, it does the job great. If you're looking for a gun, I don't know the price on these anymore, but when I picked this up, it was like $900 for this model. The camo was more, and I couldn't afford it at the time, so I had to go with this. And so, you know, it's seen the abuse, it's been neglected, but it still gets the job done. I know a lot of people have been asking about it, asking how's it working, have you had any issues with it, and I wanted to kind of make a video to address that because I put 4 seasons on this gun, and now that I'm thinking about it and talking about it, I've never really had any experiences other than maybe 3 or 4 times over the 4 years, maybe like once a season I've had issues with it. So that's awesome. It's great. Fires 3-inch shells perfectly every single time for me, and it's been neglected, but it still works great. If you guys use an SX4, drop down in the comments. I know these videos usually do pretty well because a lot of people are curious about these things. Drop down in the comments if you use an SX4, what has been your experience with it, so then you can help steer people in the right direction when they're shopping around to purchase a new duck gun. But there you go. That is the SX4. If you guys like this video, leave me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.